It's Wild 94.1, wild941.com. Joey Franchize, Poppy Shampoo. Here with the artist I've been following for a pretty long time. We got HR in the building, man. Gazi World up out here, man.
How we doing? Yeah,
I'm great, man. And I caught wind of you about a while ago when Love and Hennessy came out.
Oh, word?
So
okay,
that was like
a year ago.
Yeah, that was my joint.
Yeah,
I remember riding through Miami, just listening to the whole On God's album. My man's put me onto it.
Miami showed a lot of love on that record.
Yo,
a lot.
No
I mean, I say Miami on a Monday, so you know.
Facts. No, of course. But yeah, you've been doing this for a while. This is your third project, right? The new one's out right now. Exotigas. I gotta say it with the accent. My bad, yo. I forgot.
Exotigas.
I gotta hit it with the wepa.
It's all cool, bro. You got the swag already, so you know.
Yeah,
you gotta try hard.
We good. So I want to get into the whole the Gazi thing.
Yeah.
Explain that more to people that are probably not familiar with it.
Well, Gazi's my crew. It's not only my crew, but it's also like the brand we hold. You know, we started as Gazi. Started out as 3 people: me, my bro Chris, and we had I did the song called Fugazi, which is like slang for fake. And then we took the FU out, and we just liked the way that shit sounded. So we kept Gazi. And since then, you know, we got clothing, we got a record label, we got we do events. And we're just growing, you know what I'm saying? It's a fire brand. I think that also we got a dope philosophy behind it, which is like we all come from either immigrant parents or we're immigrants ourselves, or second generation, and we just trying to build, you know.
That's dope. And you know, you're Peruvian.
Yeah.
So how does that like kind of always help be a factor like within your music? Like, what are some inspirations that you get from, you know, your culture and the way you grew up?
I mean, even though I'm Peruvian, like I grew up out here, you know. I grew up in the States. I grew up in New York. I grew up in Boston. I live in LA, and I think my culture, my identity is more like an immigrant or Peruvian person trying to balance everything else outside of it because it's so different. You know, everything that was around me was so different. You know, like me even right now, I bought these shades yesterday at the gas station because they remind me of Jim Jones. You know?
Old Dipset days.
Exactly. I don't know how many Peruvian people could relate to that. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of that's who I am.
That's cool. You know, it is funny that you mentioned like getting shades at a gas station because I feel like you know, with a lot of the new generation cats, they kind of, you know, it's a materialistic thing. So everybody's like Versace shades or Gucci this and Fendi that. So like, you know, is that for you with your style? Is it just basically like, how does it go about? What makes your style?
My style is I always try to wear things that people wouldn't think of wearing. That's not cool to wear. You know, it's easy to get Versace shades and Gucci shades. It's gonna run you $500, but like, it ain't hard to do that and look fly. For me, it's like, okay, what can I wear that people don't necessarily look at because they think that shit ain't cool? It's not in trend, you know, and just make it look good. And it's a conversational piece. Like I don't, as you see, like I don't talk as much as like the people around me, but like people are always asking, what is he wearing? Was he, you know what I mean? So yeah,
it's bound to happen.
It's how I start convos, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're here with HR, Joey Franchize, Wild 94.1, and now the new Exotigas. What was it like putting this EP together? It's an EP, correct?
Yeah, it's an EP. It's an EP. It's more so of an EP because like I wasn't ready to put out a full album just yet. I take my albums very serious, so like, for me, I was traveling around the world in Latin America. I was in Texas. I was in Mexico. I was in DR, Miami, and I wanted to just, I was so inspired by like all the Latin stuff that people were listening to, and I wanted to make stuff like that in my own way, but I knew since it was my first go-around, it wasn't really going to be what I wanted it to be, but I also needed to put music out, so I was like, let me just put out 5 records of where I'm at right now with my creative process with this, which is new to me. And hopefully 1 or 2 of the songs really stick, and then we could just keep going. And, you know, that's why we're here now, because it's 6 zeros. You know what I'm saying?
And I love the record.
Yeah.
And not only that, just the versatility you have in a lot of your music, where you combine, you know, Latin words with the English, which is something that not a lot of people are doing right now, which you have the niche.
Yeah, I've been doing, but actually I think a lot of people are starting or trying to do it.
I think people are peeping the wave.
They're definitely peeping the wave, and they're trying to do it. And I ain't mad at them for doing it, but I'm so ahead in it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's cool because just the vibe, it's the sound with now combining it with other elements, which is really dope.
Yeah.
How much is like the Latin music really helped out a lot, like within hip hop? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like everybody's trying to grab a Bad Bunny or Anuel and incorporate it in their stuff. I saw Meek had Anuel on the track.
Uptown. That song was big in New York though, like
huge. It's Uptown, baby.
Yeah, I know. That's like it's crazy because it really became like the anthem for Uptown, you know, and it's called Uptown. But I think like it just shows you where the culture's at. Back in the day, they had, you know, Big Pun song, Boricua Morena. That was a moment, too. And, like, even though I wasn't Boricua, you know.
All my
friends from Puerto Rico, I still felt like it was about me, you know. And with the internet and, you know, there's Latin music coming from all parts of the world. Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Puerto Rico, DR. Well, they've been had it, but it's all mixing together, and I think it's fire to see that combination, you know? It's fire to see that.
No, I dig it too. And you mentioned Chile. You recently did a performance out there, right?
Yeah, I just performed there. Like,
wow.
Like a week ago.
How is it, you know, being, like, I haven't gone that deep, like, you know, South America or anything. But, like, what's that feeling like, you know, being Spanish or Peruvian in your case, and going... being American born and going to, you know, that area of the world.
Well, I'm Peruvian, and you know it's right next door to where I'm from, and I never performed in South America, so I don't know where you from.
I'm from Connecticut, but my family's from Puerto Rico. My father's from PR.
So it's like you performing in Puerto Rico, or you know what I mean, like hosting something in Puerto Rico. Even though like I'm sure you go to Puerto Rico once in a while, you never been. You go to.
I've been a few times.
Yeah, so you go, but like. You never lived out there, you know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, going to South America is like, I always wish I was able to spend more time out there, but I couldn't. So going out there and seeing people supporting me, there's a lot of people who flew out from Peru. Like, literally, I met like 40 people who flew out just from Peru to see me. So that's crazy, you know, for them to come at me, being that I'm still such an early stage in my career, you know? So it's like, it was definitely motivating. It was fire. And my parents went there. My grandparents went there too. My grandfather's 98, so you know, for him to go all the way out there,
see you on that stage doing your thing. That's what's up, man.
He was sitting down the whole time because he couldn't stand up.
I hear that.
Yeah,
but the energy was there, and that's good when you got fame around. Now I want to get on another topic too, because I know, you know, we just recently lost like Nipsey Hussle,
for real,
and that was kind of a shock, and like it just hit different. Like the energy just felt weird. Like it felt like the end of the Avengers movie where like Thanos snapped his fingers and nobody knew what the hell was going on.
For real.
How did that kind of impact you, and how did you view Nipsey?
Well, I met Nipsey when I was in New York, like 10 years ago. When I was first when I was selling just beats to anyone. I had just started. I was in high school, and like me meeting him, such a strong personality from the West Coast. Like even though he was quiet, he had so much charisma, and he was confident, but he was also honest. You know, like I always remember him for that, and being like, damn, bro, like I like the way he moves. Like I want to be more like that. And he would give me a chance. He would. Any track I gave him, he would really record over. Because he was like, if he sees someone he likes and he feels like they need an opportunity, he's going to give it to them. I've always seen that around him, you know? And that goes a long way, because you see how people feel about him now. Like, people really miss him, and everyone I feel like feels like they lost someone who was a good role model, and they're starting to see how rare it is to have good role models. But not only how rare it is, how important it is. You know, we have so many people out here who are advertisements to jewelry companies, to cars, to brands, to lifestyles that aren't gonna last that long, you know. And you have someone here who's trying to tell the youth, trying to tell adults like myself, like to invest in themselves, to invest in their community, to be aware and conscious of things, you know. I've been listening to nothing but Nipsey interviews for the last 5 days. Yeah. That's why I feel like every interview I've been doing has been so conscious. But it's true, though. Like, what he's saying is so real. It's so real. And, you know, rest in peace to his family. But I saw something this morning that really made me smile, because it's how I feel about death as well. And it was his mom. She was talking about, why is everyone scared of death? Like, death ain't a bad thing. Death is just a part of the process. You know, once you die, you go into the next part, and everything you did on this earth that you didn't understand why. Like, why is it that I'm not getting benefits for being this kind of way? It's all gonna make sense in the next round.
Right.
And I really believe that. I true wholeheartedly believe that shit. And when she said that, it made me smile, because it's like, yeah, it makes sense why he's this smart. Like, he's aligned not with what's going on just in the streets and music and the world and the United States. Like, he's aligned with the universe, you know? And that's a different type of alignment.
Right. His energy was just different, man. Like, just even seeing it from afar, like, like, you know, you saying, being in tune with, you know, just culture in general, whether it was like the hood he was from or, you know, music-wise, business-wise, like, he was just rare.
He was definitely rare. He was definitely rare. And I hope, you know, he inspires more kids, more adults, more people to be like him.
I respect that, man, for real.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Wild 94.1. We're here with HR, and moving on to a more lighter note. I saw that you're gonna be featured on the Game of Thrones album.
Yeah, that's true.
How dope is that? Mind you, there's so much hype around this new season.
I know. Well, they announced it yesterday. Man, shoot, bro. I think it's one of the best shows, you know, it's the best show right now, in my opinion. So to be part of the season finale, the only soundtrack they had, is crazy, you know? And it's with one of my favorite new artists too, Rosalia.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. The song is dope. We did the song in LA. And there's a lot of great people on there. You got Rocky, you got The Weeknd, you got SZA, you got Travis Scott. You know, it's a great names to be a part of. Hell.
No, for sure. Now, did you get a chance to see the episodes before?
Nah.
Because I didn't know if you had to get inspiration.
I'm actually missing on last season, so I gotta get. Yeah,
I'm on season 6 right now, so
really?
I'm about to breeze through that like this week before the joints drop.
You better do that.
Exactly.
I'm about to do that shit on the road right now. For real.
Now, you mentioned ASAP Rocky. Now, in my opinion, I felt like, when I first heard him, I'm like, this guy is like, it's reminiscent of like Rocky, just like a Latin version, you know, more versatile.
People do say that.
So
people say that.
Have you and Rocky ever linked? I know you did a song with Nas. So
yeah. Me and Rocky linked for sure. I mean, I've known of Rocky and his people from when I was living in Harlem. So when I lived in LA, and you know, I hang out with like I know everybody in the ASAP mob. You know, from Nas to Bari to Ills. So if I don't see him, I see one of them at least, always.
They always be around.
They'll always be around. And man, I fucks with Rocky, and I look up to Rocky too, because it's like he's someone who paved the way for a new generation of artists, like how Kanye and Pharrell did, you know. And I don't think he gets the props he deserves, to be honest. You know, he broke down a lot of doors, and he's himself, and he don't just he tries to always push creativity, push the needle, you know. But yeah, I fucks with Rocky heavy, and that's the homie for sure.
Now, have you guys talked about doing anything together? Like
we've been in the studio like 3 times. We have stuff. But you know how it is, like you vibe out, and then you do a lot of ideas, and then time schedules, you know. The songs don't finish, they're there, and shit, but I'm pretty sure when he hears 6 Zeros on the radio more, he gonna call me like, all right, bro, I gotta start fucking with you more on the music shit. You know?
Right. Now, the video is dope. Do you have your hands in a lot of the visuals? Because I know before we did this interview, you were kind of propping the camera right.
Yeah. I did, because I've been seeing a lot of visuals from these radio interviews where I'm very like, what's up with the angles? What's up with the cover pictures they use? The lighting, like, come on, you know? But yeah, I do a lot of my visuals. I'm always involved. I'm involved in everything I do. From like right now, I got my homie Ria, who's a visual dude, and we're doing the visuals for my shows that are coming up, which is gonna be a whole light show. So I'm doing that while I'm driving. Then I'm on the phone with producers who are finishing my album, and they're sending me files, and I'm sending it back to them, and I'm editing them on the car too.
Wow.
And then as far as videos, I'm writing down storylines and treatments back and forth. So I'm always, you know, a lot of my stuff comes from my ideas, and then I know who to bring based on what I want to accomplish.
That's what's up, man.
Hell yeah.
I like people that are hands on. Like,
gotta be.
You know what I mean?
I think part of what makes me special is my brand, you know, and that's
Yeah.
why you could say that maybe I'm someone like Rocky, because people like that, people like Ye, like they care so much about what they put out there, creativity, even if it ain't gonna get 100 million streams, you know, they just want to feel satisfied and comfortable as an artist. So that's definitely, I feel very, very uncomfortable if I feel like I give something mediocre.
Nah, I definitely rock and respect people who are perfectionists, especially at the craft.
Hell yeah, bro. It's exciting, man.
Now, Exotic Guys is out. 6 Zeros is the single. Now, are you looking at with this project? Are you already in go mode with it? Are you halfway done, or have you worked on it?
Yeah. I'm wrapping it up as we speak, and I'm at the process right now where I'm just playing it around and just seeing what people react to. That's something that I'm into. Like, I don't even ask people what they like. I just see what people react to. If they're bobbing their head, if you see they get some goosebumps, if they're on their phone too much, like, you just know what people are reacting to, and you know, deciding what goes on what. This album for me is very important. It's really my first official album. You know, everything I've done before I did independently and was sort of on the mixtape vibe, even though I put a lot of effort into it. This one I feel like is going to be the first thing that I put a lot more emphasis on than I have before, so it's important.
Looking forward to that, man.
Hell yeah.
Hey, y'all, appreciate you hanging out, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey, SWAT 94.1.
Yeah.